going on, everybody? You are now watching and listening to the Lady Guru Show. What's going on, Guru?
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Yeah. We are coming in hot.
You're in the mix.
Game changers, radio.
All right, everybody, we got some things to talk about here. And for everybody out there listening, bear with us real quick. We got some news out of an elementary school out in Anchorage, Alaska. A dozen children and 2 adults were served floor sealant instead of milk at a daycare summer program in Alaska Elementary School after containers were apparently mixed up. Police are leading to investigation of how the mix-up occurred. Several students complained of burning sensations in their mouth and throats, and at least one child was treated at a hospital after Tuesday morning's incident. The incident happened while students in the daycare program were served breakfast. The program is for kids ages 5 through 12. All food items, including milk from a dispensary, were provided by a contractor and served by the staff. The breakfast items were put on trays, which students took to the tables to eat. Shortly after, children began complaining that their milk tasted bad and caused burning sensations in their mouth and throat. So what the hell? How can somebody or people, staff, mix this up here? Now, we have a guest on the show, Coach Kalia, and we're going to get into her interview in a few seconds. But I do want to ask, if your child came home, right, and you asked your child, how was your day at school? And your child answered and said, I think I might have mistakenly drank Sealant. What would you do? What would your reaction be?
First reaction would honestly be to pray so that I don't take what I have and go settle the issue myself. That would be my first reaction. Secondly, I'd probably call my wife to have her settle me down. And thirdly, then I'd probably take my kid to the hospital, making sure, whatever tests are done, making sure the blood levels are okay, their levels are fine. And then, take it up the chain, really go in and find out what happened, why, see the issue. But a lot of times people make mistakes of only complaining, only passing blame, only saying you shoulda, but providing no solutions. So if it were my kid's school, after I went all the way off, I would be the first one on the PTA board. I would be the first one trying to create scholarships, the first one trying to offer some kind of funding and financing, because obviously the kids aren't getting what they need. And because of that, the staffing, whether it be short, whether it be people just don't want to work anymore, no matter what the problem is, I would have to become the solution, because the issue is that I wasn't the solution before.
Okay.
So because I wasn't the solution, I have to become the solution now to save my child and to save other children.
That's what my mother always said. I've been on the PTA for 14 years. My mother always said, if you want your kids to do well in school, you have to make sure you're involved with their schooling. Absolutely. Because that's what's going to happen.
Participate.
But I can't blame the school for not seeing the sealant in the milk when they're used to getting this product from this company all the time. It was in the same carton, and like had mentioned, it does look the same as milk.
So I this is my first time hearing about the story. Was it that sealant was poured into milk cartons, or that there were cartons of sealant?
They didn't read the label. They didn't read the label. It was labeled.
It was labeled. The staff didn't read the label.
But the cartons looked similar.
By the end of the quarter, I'd be running that facility with new management, with new staffing, with new everything, because that's absolutely ridiculous.
And so I guess the first thing that I thought is, oh my God, the lawsuits that are gonna be flying.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't know how this is gonna affect your child later. I mean, what if, in a couple of years, doctors go and they check and they say, well, this can be traced back to, Mike, what does a Sealant have in it? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's a couple of chemicals. It's to seal things. It's like a primer sealer type of thing. So it has a couple chemicals in it, but like a lot of chemicals that we breathe in environmentally wise, it comes out the other end. So we don't have to worry about that, because then we'll be worried our whole life. We have a lot of environmental factors right now that chemicals get inhaled.
Yeah, because they say
I wouldn't.
Inhaled, ingested in our food.
Yeah.
Everything.
And our track is the dirtiest track, from your mouth all the way down to your booty hole. It's one track. So if you don't vomit it up, you're gonna the other end. That's
but
it.
Also,
now you do absorb. Your body does absorb.
It won't absorb the other stuff though.
Through your gut, your body will absorb.
Your intestines, small intestines, large intestine, it absorbs. That's where all our vitamins are absorbed. But then that's why we have waste. That's why our bodies are very smart. It will get rid of the waste.
Yeah.
It will get rid of the waste on its own. That's why you have what they call diarrhea.
I challenge that statement. I challenge it.
Let me hear.
So if our bodies were that amazing at ridding themselves of waste, of toxins, of chemicals, then why have so many people died of COVID? Right? So let me make the connection. So yes, we understand COVID is a virus, but COVID is affecting people that are sick more than people that are healthy, people that are naturally healthy, that don't have, whether it be, any kind of autoimmune or any kind of disease or any kind of dis-ease, people that are sick, smokers, diabetes, hypertension, again, people that are coming in with so many health issues. Those issues are making it easier for COVID.
But you know what, Coach? Can I just tell you one thing? When the pandemic first happened, a lot of healthcare was not testing for the flu. It was only COVID. It was like there was no peripherals on. Any human being can be as healthy as an ox. If you have both of those viruses in you at the same time, and we're doing studies right now, we have some DNA from that. If they have both viruses, because we weren't testing for the flu. I've been a nurse and a paramedic for 22 years next month. And during the pandemic, I've done one flu swab. Meanwhile, prior to the pandemic, I did 150 a year, because we used to have to give out the flu vaccinations. So people, when they say people are dying from COVID, we have to understand that a 99-year-old who, I'm sorry to say, basically was already one foot in the grave, one on the banana peel, comes up and gets a virus. Yeah, her other diagnoses are going to affect that, but we don't know if she had both, because I've seen another 99-year-old lady with COVID and survived it. You understand what I'm saying? So what if that other lady had both viruses in her? We don't know.
There are always multiple factors. You're absolutely right, and I completely agree. There are always multiple factors, but a big issue is that we are sick. Point blank, period. We are sick. Our immune system is compromised. Our immune system is not able to rid itself of the toxins that we create by living in this world. Think about the simple concept of detoxing. If our immune system was that efficient.
Intestines, though.
Well, I have something when we get back from this break. I got something that's going to challenge the both of you. We'll be right back after these messages.
Let's hear about this.
It's supposed to be holy water. Am I correct? From what I know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Holy water. Yes.
It's gotta be
crazy.
blessed.
And then you got a wig on. Like, it's just so many things that are just like
colored. You had a wig on?
Yeah, it's just too
Oh,
much stuff
I didn't know
going
she had a
on.
wig.
Probably not dirty.
There's too much going
So
on.
how many people been in there?
You supposed to come, ready to be baptized. Like she was just like,
Yeah,
yo, pull
like-
up to my crib and put this little jacket and dress on and
Put it on Instagram.
yeah.
For what? That's not a godly thing to do.
But then again, I don't know. So I can't even, I don't know.
Hoes try to get her come up, and guess what? She
Yo, it's so funny. I'm like sitting in front of a church right now.
Oh my god.
Yo, oh my God.
You know when you're in the country, all the churches are houses.
So
Yeah.
wait,
Yeah.
wait, Vina, is that a sign though?
That's an
That's a sign.
affirmation, Vina.
That's a
Is
sign.
that a sign? That's a
It's an
sign.
affirmation.
She ain't holy.
She ain't holy.
And we are back with the Lady Guru Show. Now, before we went to break, I said I had something that may be a challenge to the conversation. And I just wanted to point out that what we were just talking about were viral infections, right? But with this thing about the kids drinking Sealant, we don't know if them, and mind you, everybody's body is different, but we don't know if them drinking Sealant could cause cancer 2 to 3 years later. And I don't think, from what I understand, I could be wrong, but from what I understand, the cause of cancer has nothing to do with a virus.
Nope. It has nothing
It's
to do with
viral,
anything.
and it's also if we're talking about COVID, it is viral and it's also a
Talking
respiratory
about COVID
disease.
or cancer?
So it's inhaled COVID.
COVID.
We're talking about COVID.
Okay.
So now we're talking about ingesting something, and we're talking about ingesting chemicals and it being absorbed into our body. What does
Right.
that do now?
Right.
So we don't know.
So
It's
that's
possible, right?
that's why I think the kids and the kids' parents are on solid footing when it comes to asking questions and following up, and something that could affect them. Let's be honest. I mean, we're not even talking about 2 or 3 years. We're talking about 5 and 6, maybe 10 years later.
But also the school might want to hire a medical professional to go over the chemicals and the symptoms the kids had and do further testing.
It's another
The leadership. Yeah, it's business operations.
Yep.
Speaking of leadership in this,
And even at the factory too.
yeah, and speaking of leadership in this particular case, and we're about to get into it right now, but in this particular case with the school, obviously this isn't, as we all know, a regular business, right? This is a school that is being operated by, in most cases, the state or
It's a
the
daycare.
county, or the
Yes,
county
'cause
or
it's the
whatever.
free food
So
that makes it the state.
right, which means that there's a situation regarding the superintendent and who he reports to, which kind of brings it back to who are we putting in these offices that need to have the proper leadership type of qualities, which brings me to the next topic. The Supreme Court officially reversed Roe v. Wade. The decision, most of which was leaked in early May, means that abortion rights will be rolled back in nearly half of the states immediately, with more restrictions likely to follow. For all practical purposes, abortion will not be available in large swaths of the country. The decision may well mean, too, that the court itself, as well as abortion questions, will become a focal point in the upcoming fall elections and in the fall thereafter. So, gurus, how do you view this this ruling when it comes to a woman's body?
I feel like it's never gone anywhere. It's always been an issue. And if we're free, a free country, as they say, then my body is my body. And what I choose to do with my body is my own right. Point blank in the story. That's how I feel about it. Why is this always an issue? Abortion, abortion, abortion. If somebody gets raped, do they have, or a young kid gets raped by her father or something and causes incest? Now, you know what I'm saying? Like, what would you like in God's eye? Yeah, it's not right, but in reality, like you speak, it's our body.
That's the thing right there. How is it justified when we as a country are supposed to separate religion and state? Is this really a religion thing? How did they do that? Is it
could be
considered that they're killing? Is it a we're killing the fetus?
It's not killing it unless it has a heartbeat yet. What they said, as long as it has a heartbeat, that means it's killing. That's a lot of what the church, like a religious beliefs are. You know, when you're like 2, 3, 4 weeks.
Is this religion or is this religion?
It's kind of both. It's kind of both.
In a checks and balances, how this country was supposed to be set up was to separate the government and religion. So
I mean, we all know that the country is run by politics, which is run by religion, which is run by politics. We know that. But in my opinion, this issue is not a religious issue. This issue, yes, it can have some ground there, but this issue is simply about what they would call murder, right? So you can get an abortion up until any time within your first trimester. So I believe the heart starts to beat week 3. Week 4 being pregnant, the first week you just miss your cycle, or even possibly before you miss your cycle. So it's about ending a life.
First things that develops. That's what.
Right. It's about ending a life. So what the rule is saying is that, okay, well, people are out here committing murder and there's no justice. There's no accountability. There's no rule around people just simply committing murder. That's the right-wing thought process of it. I respect it. I understand it. I completely disagree with it, because the issue is that the people that are making these rules have money. They can have a kid, be a single mom, and be absolutely okay. But what about the person that some 18-year-old girl has a kid and she's barely making $500 a paycheck?
Dude, that's the thing that drives me crazy. Like, do they really not understand? I don't get it. This is like the Twilight Zone to me. I really don't get it. We were just talking about solutions. All right. Young mothers, whoever, a mother bringing a baby into this world and not being prepared. We talked about this last show too. Not being prepared to bring a child into the world.
That's a symptom of poverty, point blank, period.
Amen. And that's what I was going to say, because not only, I'm sorry to cut you off, but not only that, you know, when these young women, I should say young girls, have a baby, but I'm just talking about a young girl, or just say a girl who can't even afford it, or say a girl with psych issues. We have these drop-off boxes because they was actually killing them. Would you rather see the mother actually killing that baby out of the wound, or before it's even here, to eliminate the psych issues, or her dropping it off to some church or a box, which causes us more money, which our country is giving money to other countries when we can't even support? Look how many people are in foster homes and these children. It psychologically messes them up. Everybody has the right to have a mother and father. And then when you take that right away from somebody with their own body, if they want to make that judgment call or not, it could come from their upbringing. It all stems from their upbringing. If they were upbrought religiously and like, okay, you're not going to get that abortion, fine, it's your body. But if they're upbrought, like, listen, I don't even have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. You know what I'm saying? I can't do this. You're going to tell me I should do it anyway, which causes me more psych problems?
Sad. That makes me so sad.
But you could send money to other countries for them. No, I don't agree with that. You know what? Give us more money, put more money in our pockets, in our schooling, in these warehouses that are messing up everywhere, in healthcare and everything. And then let's talk about this whole abortion situation. Because it's really messed up that they even reopened it. It should have been left alone. It's been left alone. Nobody's been talking about it. Leave it alone. It's just like how we always talk about the gay community and stuff. We don't care anymore what you are. We leave it alone. We love everybody. We don't care. It's so out in the open. Like, leave it alone. Let people live. Let people live how they want to live. Do what they want to do.
And this issue was pushed by, let's be honest, the church and right-wing men politicians.
Yes.
And so when you look at it, you say, why are they even trying to take this away from a woman?
I don't understand it. I'm so confused. I'm still confused about this.
They will still underground do it like they did years ago. They will undergroundly do it. And now it'll be even done better underground because we have more, information and more technology than we did years ago when they were dying, bleeding out, when it was done underground, when it was illegal to have an abortion. Now they're just going to cause these doctors to have like a little, what I would call a side gig, money off the books. That's what they're causing. And that also stems into the socialism because now they're even making the rich more rich because now you're getting money off the books where it's not taxable. So we don't even get rights to that. Come on, this system is so
many times I heard that people are, I heard this one Republican say, "Oh, the left is mad because life won," and I said, "Life did not win. If you were so concerned with life, you would be trying to educate our kids."
They don't give two craps about what happens after that baby comes into this world with that woman that is not prepared to have that.
They ain't even there. Where are they?
I don't understand it. I don't get it. I please, somebody explain it to me. Guys, comment below when you're watching this. I really don't get it. I really don't get it.
We would love to hear everyone's opinion about this because there is a lot of controversy when it comes to this aspect of life or whatever you want to call it, but it's my body.
So are we now going to give free universal birth control?
We don't even have formula.
Universally
they're gonna try to cut that out.
Vasectomies and tight tubes and
that's what I'm curious about. I'm curious to see what their response is going to be because there's got to be something that can help, right?
What's the solution? Damn it! What is the solution?
There's got to be something that they come up with because obviously they're smart, right? They may have their own opinions for whatever reason, but obviously I'm just so curious to see what is going to be the result of them saying. Are they going to say, okay, now because we've done this for the thousands of women that may have done this every single month or whatever, here are the other opportunities, right? Get into this program. Here's the funding for it. I'm just curious if they're going to do that.
I do challenge you that. Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. One thing, I do challenge you that you think they're smart. Crooked ain't got nothing to do with smart. Any stupid person can step on the top of the head. You always got to step on somebody's toes to get a top. That's how they think. That's how they get there. They ain't smart.
They're very extreme, and they're coming after.
I challenge that, coach. I throw the red flag in.
They're coming after your contraceptives. They're coming after You know, they were even mad years ago that somebody was giving out free condoms, to, something to that effect. You know,
It was at a Christian school, so yeah.
So they just want people to stop having sex. They want people to stop having intercourse.
We will all
Right?
die if we do not have intercourse.
What is the quote?
with sex.
Fornication. Right? That's what they want. Is that what it is? No,
According to
fornication.
Erickson and Freud, psych, everybody knows, in order, every human needs food, sex, then shelter, in order. Sex is a part of mammals. This is how it's a part of our bringing up. We've learned the oral phase. You know what I mean? Yeah, and we need that actually to survive. Whether it doesn't have to be intercourse or whatever. It could be just like foreplay. Yeah, we need that to live before we even need a roof over our house. It's kind of messed up.
well, this will be discussed, you know, and we'll be back with the Lady Guru show.
His shoulder was leaning. His shoulder had to lean with it. Wow, with it.
I thought it was like Photoshop.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God. But why do you keep doing this to our comedians? They can't talk about nothing. Like,
And he was saying like that he's attacking homeless people too, because he had a little joke about that too. But at the end of the day, like, this is an attack on art, period. Eventually, the rate that this is going, if this is what people want, then forget your entertainment, because we ain't gonna have nothing. That's what comedy, stand-up comedy in particular, is about. Like, they're speaking truths and finding irony in it, and what's funny. That's the part that's funny, because it's true.
Hello.
If this generation was around when Def Comedy Jam was around, boy, oh boy,
everybody would have been canceled already.
But everyone.
Cancel.
Okay.
And we are back with the Lady Guru show. Hey Gurus, we have a special guest here today. She goes by the name of Coach Kayla. She exercises and teaches women how to be successful in health and fitness step by step. Everybody welcome in Coach Kayla.
Hey, Coach.
Hey, ladies.
I throw in the towel. I'm a big girl.
That's hilarious.
I'm sorry.
I guess what I would ask you now is how are women supposed to feel after they finish exercising?
I mean, that's a broad question. There is no supposed to.
Very broad, meaning not just in their bodies, but in their mind.
So you're trying to ask, you know, what are the benefits, right? So obviously the exercise is almost a cure-all. We're looking for a magical pill to just magically and instantly inject health. There is none, right? Exercise is the closest thing that you can get. So after exercising, yeah, someone might be a little sore if they went a little too hard, but there are going to be not only your endorphins, you're going to have mental clarity, you're going to have energy, you're going to have just a mindset of positivity. Like your body is made to move. When we don't move, our bodies begin to shut down in multiple ways, from any aspect of mental to physical, emotional, social, all of that. So exercise is built into how we move. Now, again, back in the day, we were, walking miles and miles and miles a day for food. So that was literally built into our culture, built into who we are. But now we have to make it happen. And that's the difficult part. The difference between exercise and nutrition is that you have to eat. You can choose to eat well or choose to not eat well, but you don't have to exercise.
Right. Now, let me ask you this then. Okay. If you do not exercise and you eat well, do you still have those same benefits? And if you exercise and you don't eat well, are you going to still reap the benefits?
You see my smile.
It's a great question.
It's a wonderful question. Wonderful question. Back in 2014, I wrote a book. It's called Design Your Body, Your Guide to Cutting Through the Fat. Find it on Amazon. And in that book, I present what I call the trinity of physical health and wellness, right? We all understand there are multiple aspects, about 7 different ways to be healthy and well. We're going to focus specifically on the physical aspect. Now, it is my belief that nutrition is not 80% of the game.
Oh, okay. Because I wanted to ask you about that. Okay. All
it's
right.
not.
Did everybody just hear that?
That made me smile. It made me smile.
It's so true. It's so true.
What else? What else?
Nutrition is not 80% of the game. It is the hardest to master for your body. So I will give you that, but it is not 80%. Here's why. Right. So I've been in business 16 years. My traditional education from my bachelor's to my master's is in this. It's in health, fitness, nutrition. OK, so I remember doing my studies and we came across a centurion who was a century runner, somebody who runs hundreds of miles at a time. Right. Obviously, dude ate well. Okay. Obviously, he ate well, was extremely healthy nutrition aspects, right? Any kind, right? But I don't remember the specific of his nutrition, but it was healthy. You know, he ate well. Obviously, cardiovascular nutrition or cardiovascular endurance was amazing because he can freaking run 100 miles, right? But he died from complications of a bone fracture because he fell. And he fell because he didn't have enough muscle mass to support his weight on his way down for falling. And the bones were so brittle that he died before his time. So resistance training is, in my belief, 33% of the equation. All right, put that in the corner, 33%. The other 33% of the equation is going to be that cardiovascular endurance. Yeah. Let me take you to a bodybuilder. I used to do bikini, powerlifting, that kind of fun stuff. Awesome, right? Love lifting heavy shit. It's awesome, right? But when you look at a bodybuilder, particularly a male, think about the ones who don't do steroids, the ones that are just super big and just swollen, all that. Well, if you take a cross-sectional analysis of their heart looks exactly like a person with hypertension. It is a diseased heart, right?
Is it?
It is enlarged. It is hypertrophied. Yes. And the issue is because the person does nutrition can be on point. That's fine. Resistance training can be on point. That's fine. But their cardiovascular endurance is so poor, their body thinks they're diseased in some ways. So it can't be just cardio. It can't be just resistance. And the same thing goes for nutrition. I've got a perfect example, right? I know several people, right, in my life. I call them witch doctors, right? They just love earth. They're the mother earth type person. They're all the fruits and berries and the garden and all this.
The vegans out here? Is what it is?
No, not just vegans, but people that love to eat healthy, right? But eating healthy, yes, you get your nutrients and you get your energy from food. You don't get it anywhere else, right? Fruit, things that you ingest, okay? But if all you have is energy, what is fat? Fat is nothing but excess energy stored in your body. Number one. Number two, when all you do is eat supplements or leafy greens and just healthy stuff, which is great, you're going to pee it out because your body has a tolerance. It can only absorb a certain amount. Right. So you can be super healthy. Your skin can glow. You can be this and that. And nutrition can really make you look well.
It's an everyday thing that it doesn't persist. Right.
But think about it. So, right, when we talk about how the body can respond to food, how the body can absorb nutrients, how the body can function properly the way it's supposed to. But what happens when you're walking in the street and you're hanging out with the girls, it's the middle of the night and, oh my gosh, a car is coming. Are you going to have enough speed or power to push yourself back onto the curb? No, not if you're not lifting weights. Or, God forbid, a dog chases you.
I knew somebody that actually got into a motorcycle accident, right? And because he was so fit physically, he survived. If you have a weak body, you may not survive, right?
Absolutely.
I have a question, Coach. Now, when Okay, because I do get it. And I think what I'm getting from this conversation is basically healthy working out and everything has every aspect. You have to eat, you have to exercise, and you have to build muscle. You don't want to build too much muscle because you don't want to get your heart inflamed with, you know, you don't want to eat too much bad stuff, but then again, you don't want to stay away from carbs and the bad stuff because you need that too, right?
Well, you don't need the bad stuff, but it's all about balance, right? So in my
So you got to balance nutrition and workout.
It's not just workout, right? So again, in the book, Design Your Body, Your Guide to Cutting Through the Fat, I present what I call the trinity of physical health and wellness, which is 33.33 repeated nutrition, 33.33 repeated cardiovascular endurance, 33.33 repeated resistance training. So it's about all of them. It's about all. You can work, you can lift weights as much as you want. You can, again, I'm a power lifter. I lift 3 times my body weight and I'm a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like you can build.
As long as you're doing the other two equally, that should maintain homeostasis.
In some kind of proportion.
There's benefits to each part, right? Benefits to each part.
And I just want to say I tried every diet. And the only diet that ever worked for me is basically when I portioned my food right and I exercised. And when I tell you 100% have more energy, 100% have more motivation. I started out on the elliptical like 2 minutes, couldn't even, and then I was at 45 minutes ready to go doing bicycle and stuff.
Yeah.
Then doing weights the other day. You know, I was trying to do that and I felt good when I was doing it. But I did eat everything I wanted, but in portions.
Like everything in moderation, and you don't want to overdo anything, right? That's the balance part of it.
You overdo protein, like Coach had mentioned, your urine, you could have proteinuria, which is a lot of protein in your urine, and that's not good.
And also, if you overdo exercising, right, can't you produce more cortisol?
You could actually produce lactate acid, which is going to also kill your liver because your liver produces it. So you have to bring it down.
The only time that you look at someone that's exercising to that point, not even runners. Runners don't produce that much lactic acid unless you're a sprinter, like unless you're a Division I or Olympic athlete.
Like a long distance runner couldn't do sprinting because they can't build up the lactate acid that fast to bring it down, right?
They can't, they don't go fast enough, right? So the body doesn't produce it. But the biggest thing is balance, right? So yes, if you have to eat a Twinkie, okay, fine, eat the Twinkie, that's whatever, right? But don't let the Twinkie be the meal. Don't continually go back to the Twinkie. Balance the Twinkie out with some kale, right?
But when you eat the Twinkie, is it true that when you eat the Twinkie, you gonna want another Twinkie?
Absolutely. Yeah. And here's why. I call it nutritional marketing, right? So you have one aspect of it, which is how things look, right? So I grew up old school, right? My parents are, 70 something years old. So I grew up old school where presentation is important. So if something looks a certain way, you're going to want to dive in that thing and go ham. If it doesn't look that great, you just be like, not fast. Or you just might kind of, to just nibble on it. But that's just how it looks. That's psychologically. But also talk about the physical aspect of it. Look at the chemicals that are placed in food. Have you ever had let's take Doritos, right? So you take Doritos. Doritos have been perfectly engineered for savory, for the crisp, for the longevity of how long that crisp can last. Our bodies like the crisp and then the sweet and then our bodies love those combinations. You know why?
Like the bag too.
Yeah, the bag.
Let's off all of these endorphins in my head and
here's why, right? No matter how much things have evolved over time. Our brains have not evolved. We've just used more of them. So our brains are still the same brains as our ancestors. So when our ancestors were going for food and they saw something that they needed to get, they're going to gorge in on it because they don't know the next time they get it. If they go across the berry patch, they're going in on the berries because there's no telling the next time that berry patch will be available, or it might not be available till next year if we're farmers. But if you take the same level of sweet, right? Let's say the berries are on a scale of 5, or 1 out of 10 is like a 5. But you take a Twinkie on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of sweetness, it's like a freaking 30. So now our minds are overloaded with, oh my gosh, this feels so good. You ever bit into something and it's a was it orgasm? You know what I mean? And you're just like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. That's not only that's psychological, that is engineered. So the nutrition companies have engineered our downfall. They have engineered our wants, our ability, our need to continue to bite in and continue to have. You ever ate Chipotle and can't stop eating it?
Can I tell you what happened to me after I had my son? After I had my son, my little one, I was breastfeeding for a while, and my reward every single day, and it was so horrible, but it made me feel so good because I felt like all I was doing was, I need this reward. And I would go and get a McDonald's McFlurry with M&Ms every single day. And you know, when you breastfeed, it's supposed to like burn all of these calories. I lost weight in the beginning, but then when I started doing that, I started stabilizing, and then I started growing bigger and bigger. And it was like, when I ate that McFlurry, it just made me feel so good. It made me just so happy.
Let me ask a question. My fault. Let me ask you a question before we go to break, and then we'll come back. What you call it? So basically, what you are teaching is you're not just teaching aspects of health. You're teaching a holistic view of how to design one's body.
Absolutely. I teach grown women health, right? It's not just about the fat loss. It's about how can I live as long as my 96-year-old grandma and still not have wrinkles? You know, how can I touch my toes at 96 years old? How can I move and function and increase my quality of life while still being sexy? How can I do that and still enjoy what I'm consuming, how often I'm consuming it, and build my career, build my family on the same principles?
That's a lot. That is a lot. If you could teach us that, you good. Okay. Please, I want to learn, please.
We're gonna come back with Madeline's question, and we're gonna come back with more Coach Kayla after these messages. It's the Lady Guru Show.
It's in a negative space. Like right now, it's so many artists that's just dying, and everybody's just dying, and then like you said, you on the radio, you don't even know which artist is which, and it's not like forever. It's not timeless music.
What about the music underneath the lyrics, right? Like, for example, there'll be a like the type of music that people choose to rhyme to. I feel like might be a problem too, because I'm hearing stuff that's on the radio that, in my opinion, that shouldn't be on the radio. Like it's not nothing that makes people hum to themselves when the music is off. When I don't know.
They knew somebody, Blake.
I don't know.
They knew somebody.
Oh yeah.
That's all.
So you know.
Yeah. Someone.
Yeah, you have it.
There you have it, everybody. And we are back with the Lady Guru Show. Maddie, you had a question for Coach Kayla.
Yeah, it wasn't a question. It was basically a statement. I just want to say you sold the book to me. Just with the 33, 33, 33, and the way when Blake said holistic, it's not really holistic. It's just basically natural things that we should be doing every day. And I just want to say I'm totally buying your book because I want to read it, and you inspired me somehow. I don't know. And I think it was the way how educated you just spoke right now. It was like beautiful. It was like,
thank you.
I understood everything, like with the anatomy that I know knowledgeably with your nutritionist. And it was just like so 100% on the dot. And it was like, damn, why didn't I think about this earlier? Like, so everybody who's watching, make sure y'all go get this book.
I've tried so many different things
Diet,
as far as
yes.
Dieting, exercising, like everything. Okay. It used to be easy for me. Now at this point in my life, it's not so easy. And this is what I was looking at, and I'm like, all right, that right there is what might set it off for me. Now you do genetic testing, right?
You did some research, huh?
I did do some research, okay? Now that right there might be the key for me.
Yeah,
I truly believe. Now, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. So, and I was going to say, like, what's better than the book? My book is almost a decade old. So it's got some good points, but I've learned a lot since then. And I've employed a lot of good people since then. So better than the book is getting us one-on-one, right? So join my team, join my program. Check out our website. It's designyourbodyacademy.com, or find me on Facebook. But I hired dietitians because, one, I did not want to go back to school for another 8 years to learn what they learned. So I might as well employ someone who's already the expert, and I'm the expert in my area.
That's the genius of it. This is why I want it. Because that's the genius.
Delegate. She delegates.
So,
delegate and run it well.
Absolutely. So with my dietitians, there are things that go beyond just calories in, calories out, carbs, fats, proteins.
Yes.
Some people have issues that deal with inflammation, and you wouldn't know. Some people are allergic to certain. I had a client who's allergic to spinach and olive oil.
And probably never even thought about it twice or
never understood why she couldn't lose weight. She's eating all the olive oil. She's doing all the smoothies, doing all these all the healthy things.
To eat, right?
Look, all the healthy things, but those healthy things weren't healthy for her. So you have to find out what's healthy for you. So with our nutrition testing, our dietitians are able to kind of facilitate the process to understand your gut issues, right? What's your food allergies, your hormonal issues, because as women, the big thing is as we age, after we have kids, as stress sets in, pandemics, all of these things, it changes us hormonally and to an extent, genetically. So there are some things we grow into and out of, and we're in flux trying to wonder out what the flux is going on with our bodies, because what we did in our 20s or even 30s don't match to what's happening now. Right?
Oh my God. I just want to come
why you hire a professional to help you get and design your body.
Okay. Yes.
Mic drop.
I appreciate and I love what you're saying so much. I wish people would pay attention to this. Please listen. Please go check her out. Like this is good stuff. This is something that I am so into, and she excites me. She is exciting me because this is something new for me. This is something that I look into. I research. I try to have a healthy lifestyle, and she's telling me things that are new. So go check her out, please.
And get your own personalized plan.
Yes.
And let me tell you something, Coach, right or wrong, if you take too much of something, like if you do too much of something, you can get a disease, right? Like a disease. Like if you take too much like vitamin C and you're not balanced out, you can end up with another like diagnosis, like a disease or something.
It kind of goes back to the beginning. My mom always said too much of anything can kill you.
Moderation.
Yeah, like with the genetics.
That's why she said the 33.333333. Everything is balanced. Moderation and balance.
Yes.
All right, everybody. We'll be back with the Lady Guru Show.
Now you can't just be going around just, everybody introducing everybody you're dating to your child.
Honestly, we're talking about Kim and Kanye right now, right? And maybe Kanye is offended, it's like a slap in the face because she didn't even give enough time to even get with the next man. You know what I'm saying? Kim right away jumped into a relationship. I wouldn't do that. I don't think a lot of us wouldn't. but that's Kim, that's J-Lo, that's what they do. Remember, we talked about this before.
Yeah.
They don't even give themselves a break before even jumping in. So make Kanye, I might agree he might be offended, feel some type of way.
I would say it takes time to meet, like to introduce your children to someone you're dating. I think that should be a couple of maybe 2 years in after you know you're serious. You can't just date somebody and then they walking around with your child, and we're not even seeing you nowhere around. So
if you want to piss a man off,
you do that.
You do that.
What she's been doing.
You do that, and you do it. Not only do you do it like that, but you do it wherein the picture's gonna go viral.
There are so many and several ways to piss a man off. Yes, that is one of them.
I agree with Alicia. Maybe their relationship seems. I mean, I don't know how it is behind closed doors, but it makes it seem like they're serious. They actually want to have family. They're talking about having a family. So maybe she wants them to have him be around so soon because she wants to maybe rush that, which isn't good either. But.
And we are back with the Lady Guru Show. We always like to point out good music here. For everybody that's listening in Radio Land, we do like to point out what's hot, what's not. You know what I'm saying? And recently over the internet, the subject of Amber Rose came up. And it just so happens that Amber Rose has a new song out. Drum roll, please. Amber Rose has a song called Get Your Hoe On.
Amber, sit down.
Oh, wait.
Produced by the one and only Manny Fresh.
Yeah.
Go to
Amber,
church.
sit down. Sit down, Amber.
No.
Recently, Amber got dragged on Twitter and all over the internet about this song. So, I mean, what do you guys think of the song?
She should be.
I
She
like
should
the
feature.
song.
Stop it! Stop it!
Maddie,
That's terrible. Look
did
at
you
what
do
she's teaching our children.
Maddie,
Look at
when
what
back
she's teaching our
that
children.
ass up, when back that ass up,
That was
back
different.
that ass up.
That was different. That was different. Listen,
It's not
listen,
different.
listen to the world we're living in today. Look at what we just spoke about abortion and
get
stuff.
it.
Now you want to
I
talk
do
about
get that
being
part.
hoish?
I get that part.
Hello.
We're thinking about these things more, but just in a free state of mind, and we're just talking about the music. We're just talking about the music. We're not talking about what the socialist, all of that stuff. When you hear "back that ass up," do you not back that ass up?
I always back that
This
ass
is
up.
not sex, though.
But this is come on. The song,
I
you
know.
could be sexy and have a nice song without being ratchet.
This is
You
her
know what I
brand.
mean?
Nicki Minaj's WAP, that makes me sick.
Yes, it's like
Listen. I know. This is her brand. This is her brand, and this is where her money is. Okay, this is what we're talking about right now.
That's why she should give us some.
It's strategic, and she's probably going to be successful because that's where we're
Give us a
at
call.
right now with the generations. This is where the generations are. Unfortunately, do I agree with promoting Hold'em? No. No.
Guys, please go out. Look for Coach.
Yes, make sure you check out our website, Coach. Repeat your website so people know where you're at.
It's Design Your Body Academy. It's a school, right? So designyourbodyacademy.com. I believe that it's more important to teach you how to fish than just to give it to you, right? So designyourbodyacademy.com. Find me again, Coach Kayla. Kayla is spelled Cailah. Find me on Facebook, not so much on Instagram, but mainly on Facebook. Or again, the website is designyourbodyacademy.com.
And throw that towel in, Coach. Throw it in. Throw that towel in.
All right, everybody, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Everybody, check this out. This is the Lady Guru Show, and we are out of here.